Hello, and welcome to Simple English Talks. My name is Jamie, and today I have an adventure story for you. Not a big, dramatic adventure, not a story with danger and explosions, but a quiet adventure. The kind that happens when you walk into the forest with a backpack on your shoulders and nothing planned except to keep moving forward. This story is called The Green Trail. Let us begin. Sam had never been hiking before. Hiking means walking long distances in nature, usually in the mountains or forest. It is not the same as a walk in the park. A hike is longer, the ground is uneven, and you carry everything you need on your back. Sam was 22 years old. He lived in a city. He worked at a small office. He spent most of his time indoors. Indoors means inside buildings. He sat at a desk, looked at a computer screen, ate lunch at the same noodle shop every day, took the same bus home every evening, and watched television until it was time to sleep. He was not unhappy, but he was not very happy either. He felt like something was missing. Missing means not there, absent. He could not say exactly what it was, just a feeling. A quiet, dull ache. Dull means not sharp or exciting. An ache is a steady, constant pain or discomfort. One Friday evening, his friend Dow called him. Dow was the opposite of Sam in many ways. She was always moving, always planning, always doing something new. She had short hair and a loud laugh, and she owned more pairs of hiking boots than Sam owned pairs of shoes in total. "Come hiking with me tomorrow," she said. "Just one day. There is a trail in the national park 2 hours from the city. It is not too difficult. You will love it." Sam looked at his sofa. He looked at the television. He thought about the noodle shop and the bus and the desk. "Okay," he said, "I will come." He was not sure why he said yes so quickly. Maybe he was more tired of his routine than he realized. A routine is a regular pattern of activities that you do in the same order. Maybe the quiet ache had been waiting for exactly this question. Dow told him what to bring. A backpack. Walking shoes with good grip. Grip means the ability to hold onto a surface without slipping. Long trousers to protect his legs from plants and insects. A hat. Sunscreen. A rain jacket, just in case. 2 large bottles of water. Snacks. Light food you can eat while walking. An energy bar, some nuts, a banana. A small first aid kit. A first aid kit is a small bag with basic medical supplies like bandages and antiseptic cream. Antiseptic cream is a cream that kills bacteria and prevents infection on small cuts and wounds. Sam wrote everything down. He did not own hiking boots, so he wore his old sports shoes. They were not perfect, but they had thick soles. Soles are the bottom parts of shoes. He set his alarm for 5:30 in the morning. 5:30. He stared at the number on his phone for a long time. He went to bed early and lay awake for a while, thinking about the next day. He felt a mix of excitement and nervousness. Nervousness means the feeling of being worried or unsure about something coming. He had never walked in a forest before. He did not know what to expect. He fell asleep before he finished the thought. The alarm went off and the sky outside was still dark. Sam got up, dressed quickly, ate a bowl of rice with a fried egg, filled his water bottles, and packed his bag. Dow picked him up at 6:15 in a small car that smelled like sunscreen and dried leaves. They drove for 2 hours. At first, the city was still around them. Tall buildings, traffic lights, petrol stations. Then, slowly the city disappeared, and the road became smaller, and the trees became taller and more frequent. Frequent means happening often or close together. The air coming through the car window changed. It became cooler and greener. Greener not in color, but in smell. The smell of plants and earth and moisture. Moisture means slight wetness in the air. Sam rolled down the window and breathed in deeply. Something happened in his chest. Something small, but real. Like a door opening that had been closed for a long time. They arrived at the national park entrance at 8 in the morning. A ranger collected their entrance fee and gave them a small map. A ranger is a person who works in a national park to protect the nature and help visitors. The map showed the trail they would take. The trail was marked in green. Trail means a path through nature, usually marked so people can follow it. The trail was 12 kilometers long. 12 kilometers is a reasonable distance for a beginner. Beginner means someone doing something for the first time. At the start of the trail, they stood for a moment and looked ahead. The path went into the trees and disappeared around a bend. Bend means a curve in a path or road. The trees on both sides were tall and dense. Dense means packed closely together with very little space between. The light that came through the leaves was soft and green and moving. It moved because the leaves above were moving in the gentle morning wind. "Ready?" said Dow. Sam adjusted the straps of his backpack. Adjusted means moved or changed slightly to make more comfortable. Straps are the bands that go over your shoulders to hold the backpack on your back. "Ready?" he said. They walked in. The first thing Sam noticed was the sound. The city was always full of sound. Traffic, voices, music, construction. But here the sounds were completely different. There were birds, lots of birds in the trees above him calling to each other. He could not see them, but he could hear them everywhere. There were insects too, a constant, gentle buzzing. Buzzing means a continuous low sound, like a bee. And under everything, the sound of his own footsteps on the earth. Crunch, crunch, crunch. The dry leaves under his feet. The second thing he noticed was how much his body was working. After just 10 minutes, he was already breathing harder. The path was not steep yet. Steep means going up at a sharp angle. But it was uneven. Uneven means not flat, with small rocks and roots crossing the path. Roots are the parts of trees that grow along the ground or underground. He had to watch every step. He could not think about work. He could not think about his phone, which was in his bag. He could only think about where to put his feet next. This, he realized, was the point. Dow walked ahead of him, comfortable and steady. She had done this many times. She moved through the trail like she belonged there. Like the forest was a room she knew well. She pointed things out as they walked. "There," she said, pointing up. "A hornbill." A hornbill is a large bird with a very distinctive large beak. A beak is the hard-pointed mouth of a bird. The hornbill's beak had a large yellow and red bump on top, like a helmet. Helmet means protective covering for the head. It flew between two tall trees and disappeared. Sam stopped and stared. He had never seen a bird like that in real life, only in pictures. They kept walking. The path went uphill gradually. Gradually means slowly, a little at a time. Sam felt the muscles in his legs working. Muscles are the parts of your body that allow you to move. His calves were burning slightly. Calves are the muscles at the back of the lower leg. But it was not an unpleasant burn. It felt like his body was doing something it was made to do. After about an hour, they stopped at a flat rock beside a small stream. A stream is a small, narrow river. The water was clear and cold. You could see the stones on the bottom perfectly. Dow sat down and took out her water bottle. Sam sat beside her and did the same. He drank and looked at the stream. A small brown lizard sat on a rock in the sunlight, completely still. Still means not moving. It looked at Sam. Sam looked at it. Then it ran away quickly, disappearing into the grass. "How are your legs?" Dow asked. "A little tired," said Sam honestly. "But in a good way." "That is the right way," she said. She broke off a piece of her energy bar and handed it to him. "Eat something. We have about 4 more kilometers before the viewpoint." A viewpoint is a place on a trail where you can see a wide, beautiful view of the surrounding landscape. Landscape means the land and nature that you can see around you. Dow had told him about the viewpoint. She said on a clear day you could see 3 mountain ranges from there. A mountain range is a long line of mountains close together. Sam ate the energy bar. It was sweet and dense and tasted of oats and honey. Oats are a type of grain used in food. Honey is a sweet liquid made by bees. He felt his energy return slowly, like a phone charging. They kept walking. The forest changed as they went higher. The trees became shorter, and the spaces between them wider. More light came through. The ground was rockier. Rockier means more rocks. Some sections of the trail required using his hands to climb over large stones. Require means to need. He pulled himself up carefully, using both hands and feet. He slipped once. His foot slid off a wet rock, and he grabbed a tree trunk to stop himself from falling. A trunk is the main thick body of a tree. His heart beat fast for a moment. Then he found his footing again. Footing means a secure place to stand. "Are you okay?" Dow called from above. "Yes," he said. "Fine." He looked at the wet rock. He found a drier part and stepped there instead. He moved more carefully from that point on. Moving carefully, he realized, was not the same as moving slowly. You could be careful and still move steadily. Steadily means at a regular, constant pace. Pace means speed of movement. You just had to pay attention. And paying attention to the ground, to the rocks, to the roots, to where you placed each step. This was a kind of meditation. Meditation means a state of focused, quiet attention. He had not thought about his office once since they entered the forest. He had not thought about his desk, or his computer, or the noodle shop. He was completely here, completely in this moment, on this path, with these trees. The dull ache he had been carrying was gone, just gone. They reached the viewpoint at around 11 o'clock. It was a wide, flat area at the top of a ridge. A ridge is a long, narrow area of high ground, like the top edge of a mountain. The trees opened up and the sky appeared, enormous and blue, and below and beyond, and in every direction, the forest. Green hills rolling away in every direction, wave after wave as far as he could see. Rolling means moving in soft, gentle curves like waves in water. In the distance, 3 mountain ranges stood pale blue against the sky. They looked like they were not quite real, like a painting. The closest mountain had a small white cloud sitting against its side, very still, like it had decided to rest there. Sam stood at the edge of the viewpoint and looked. He did not speak. Dow stood beside him and also did not speak. Some views require silence. Require means need. Silence means no sound. After a long time, Dow said quietly, "Worth it." Sam exhaled. Exhale means to breathe out slowly. "Yes," he said, "very worth it." They sat down on the flat rock of the viewpoint and ate their lunch. Dow had brought rice in a small container with boiled egg and some dried fish. Dried fish is fish that has been preserved by removing moisture from it. It has a strong, salty taste and is very common as trail food in Thailand because it is light to carry and does not need to be kept cold. Sam had a sandwich he had made quickly that morning, 2 pieces of bread with peanut butter. He had worried it would be boring, but here at the top of the ridge, looking at 3 mountain ranges, it was the most delicious sandwich he had ever eaten. Food tastes different in nature. He did not know why. Maybe because your body has been working hard and needs the fuel. Fuel means energy for the body. Maybe because the air is different. Maybe because you are more present. Present means fully here, in this moment, not thinking about other things. They ate slowly. A butterfly landed on Sam's backpack for a moment. A butterfly is a small insect with large, colorful wings. This one was orange and black. It sat there for a few seconds and then flew away. After lunch, they rested for 30 minutes. Sam lay back on the warm rock and looked up at the sky. The sky was a perfect deep blue with a few white clouds moving very slowly. He felt the warmth of the rock under his back. He felt the breeze on his face. He heard the birds far below in the forest. He felt completely calm. Calm means peaceful and relaxed, without worry or stress. Not the calm of being bored, the calm of being full. Like something inside him had been empty for a long time and was now slowly being filled. He thought, I should do this more often. The walk down was different from the walk up. Going downhill uses different muscles. Going up uses the muscles at the front of the thigh. Thigh is the upper part of the leg. Going down puts pressure on the knees and uses the muscles at the back of the legs. His knees began to feel it after a while. A dull pressure with each step down. Dao had warned him about this. She had given him 2 small walking poles before they started. Walking poles are thin sticks with handles at the top, used to help balance and reduce pressure on the knees while hiking. Sam had felt a little embarrassed using them at first. He thought they made him look like an old man. But after an hour of going downhill, he was very glad he had them. The light in the forest changed in the afternoon. It became warmer and more golden. Golden means the color of gold, a warm yellow. Long streaks of sunlight came through the trees at an angle. Angle means not straight, coming from the side. Streaks means long, thin lines. It made the forest look magical, like something in a story. Sam walked slowly and looked at everything. He noticed things he had walked past without seeing in the morning. A large spider web between 2 trees, catching the light. A web is the structure a spider makes from thin threads to catch insects. The threads were so thin they were almost invisible, but the light made them shine like silver. A group of small mushrooms growing at the base of a tree. Mushrooms are small fungi that grow in damp places. These ones were pale brown with round tops, standing in a perfect circle. A perfect circle of mushrooms has a name in English. It is called a fairy ring. A fairy is a small magical creature in stories. The idea is that fairies danced in a circle and mushrooms grew where their feet touched the ground. Sam crouched down to look at the fairy ring. Crouched means bent his knees and lowered himself close to the ground. He looked at the small mushrooms, perfectly spaced, growing quietly in the shadow of a great tree. He took a photo with his phone. Then he put his phone away again and just looked. Looking without a screen between him and the thing, that felt important today. They reached the end of the trail at 4:30 in the afternoon. The car park was visible through the last section of trees. A car park is an area where vehicles are parked. Sam walked out of the trees and onto the flat gravel. Gravel means small, loose stones on the ground. He stopped and turned around and looked back at the entrance of the trail. The trees stood there, tall and quiet. The path disappeared into the green. He felt something he had not expected. He felt reluctant to leave. Reluctant means not wanting to do something, feeling resistance. He wanted to go back in. He wanted to walk further. He wanted more of whatever had happened to him in there. He turned back to Dao. She was watching him with a small smile. "You liked it," she said. It was not a question. Sam looked down at his shoes. They were dusty and there was a small mud stain on the left one. His legs were tired. His shoulders were tired from the backpack. He had a small scratch on his arm from a branch he had not seen. He was hungry and slightly thirsty. He felt wonderful. "I liked it very much," he said. "Good," said Dao. She opened the car. "Next time we go for 2 days. We camp overnight." Sam looked at the trees one more time. Camp means to sleep outdoors in a tent. A tent is a small portable shelter made from fabric. He had never camped before either. "Okay," he said. "Show me how." They drove back to the city as the sun went down. The sky turned orange and pink behind the mountains. Sam sat in the passenger seat and watched it through the window. His legs were heavy. His eyelids were heavy, too. Eyelids are the skin that covers and closes over your eyes. He thought about the hornbill in the trees, the lizard on the rock, the spider web catching the light, the fairy ring of mushrooms, the 3 mountain ranges pale and blue in the distance. He thought about the moment when the dull ache had disappeared, when it had simply been replaced by the sound of his own footsteps and the birds and the breathing of the forest. He had not brought very much into the forest, just water, some food, and a pair of old sports shoes. But he had come out with something. He was not sure yet what to call it. But it felt like space, like something heavy had been lifted from his chest and replaced with open sky. He closed his eyes. The car moved through the evening. He slept. The end.